Ever wondered why some older men seem to effortlessly pull younger women in without even trying? It's not about money, status, or even looks. It's all about how they talk to them. Imagine being able to ask just a few simple questions that leave her completely captivated, hanging on your every word. The secret. Trigger questions. These aren't your average questions. They flip the script, putting you in control and making her chase you instead. So, why are these questions so irresistible? Men typically do the chasing, but that often doesn't spark the kind of attraction you really want. Women need a reason to chase, and that's exactly what trigger questions give them. They set standards, validate, display authority, create intrigue, spark emotional connection, and challenge her mindset. Ready to learn how? Let's dive in. Younger women chase older men who ask trigger questions. Women's biggest weakness. 1. Questions that set a standard. To get a woman to chase you, you need to give her something to chase. This means setting a standard. As an older guy, you likely know exactly what you're looking for in a woman, but are you clearly communicating those standards? Most men don't. They let women set the standards instead. This usually leads to men chasing and women losing interest. Here's how to fix that. Rather than directly listing your standards, embed them in a question. For example, if you value intelligence, ask her about the last good book she read. If you prefer adventure, ask about the craziest place she's ever been to. This approach communicates your standards without saying a word. Think about it. When you're unsure about someone's expectations, it can feel confusing, right? It's the same for her. By clearly communicating your standards, you set the stage for a meaningful interaction. For example, if you value deep conversations, ask, "What's the most interesting thing you've learned recently?" This shows you value knowledge and encourages a stimulating conversation. When she answers, she's trying to meet your standard, whether she realizes it or not. If she struggles to answer, you can tease her playfully. "Really? You don't have any interesting stories. We need to fix that." This keeps the conversation light while reinforcing your expectations. 2. Questions that validate. It's essential to communicate your interest, but if you shower her with compliments, you risk looking desperate. Instead, validate her for something she's had to work for. This speaks to her on a much deeper level and makes her feel appreciated for her efforts. Think back to a time when someone noticed something you worked hard on. Didn't that feel amazing? Women are no different. When you validate her efforts, you're acknowledging something important to her. For instance, if she talks about a project she's passionate about, say, "That sounds really impressive. What inspired you to start that?" This shows you're genuinely interested in her and her efforts, creating a deeper connection beyond surface-level compliments. Listening closely is key. If she mentions a hobby or a recent achievement, ask follow-up questions. Not only does this validate her, but it also keeps the conversation flowing and engaging. A woman who feels understood and appreciated for more than just her looks will feel more connected to you and will be more likely to chase your attention. 3. Questions that display authority. Having authority, especially in areas she's interested in, can be incredibly attractive. The trick is displaying your knowledge in a subtle way, without sounding like you're bragging. For example, if you're talking to someone interested in travel, ask, "I've always found that the local cuisine tells you so much about a place. What's the most memorable meal you've had while traveling?" This question showcases your knowledge of travel and food, but does so in a way that encourages her to share her own experiences. Think about areas where you have expertise. How can you weave that into a conversation without sounding like you're showing off? The key is to ask questions that highlight your experience and invite her to engage with your expertise. This not only shows that you have depth and substance, but it also makes her more curious to get to know you better. 4. Questions that create intrigue. Creating intrigue is about sparking curiosity and making her want to know more about you. It's about being a little mysterious and not revealing everything at once. That sense of mystery can be incredibly alluring. Think back to a time when someone said something intriguing, only to change the subject, leaving you wanting to know more. That's the kind of effect you can have on her. You can create intrigue by asking questions that hint at your interesting life or unique experiences without fully explaining them right away. For example, you might say, "I once had an adventure in a place most people wouldn't even consider visiting. Have you ever done something a little crazy?" This type of question not only teases her with stories about your own adventures, but encourages her to share her own, adding to the intrigue. When she asks you to elaborate, don't spill everything at once. Give just enough detail to keep her curiosity alive, but hold back enough to leave her wanting more. This balance of sharing and withholding keeps the conversation dynamic and engaging. Oh, and by the way, before we move on to number 5, if you're finding value with this video so far, hit the like button right now. And if you don't want to miss out on my next mind-blowing video, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell to get notified whenever I upload it. And then, go to the comment section below and type, "I subscribe," and I'll personally welcome you to the family. And guess what? I've got a very special treat for you. A free ebook called The Attraction Handbook. This book is all about how to make any woman obsess over you, even if you're average looking, or she has told you you are not her type. And it doesn't even matter you just want to sleep with a girl, or if you want her to commit to you. Once you turn on the switch, she'll be uncontrollably addicted to you. Just click the link below to grab it. Alright, let's get back to it. 5. Questions that spark emotional connection. One of the most powerful ways to make a woman chase you is by creating an emotional connection. People are naturally drawn to those who can make them feel something, whether it's joy, excitement, or vulnerability. To trigger this emotional response, ask questions that invite her to share personal stories or deep feelings. For example, you could ask, "What's the most meaningful lesson you've learned from a past relationship?" This question not only sparks an emotional response, but also shows that you're interested in understanding her on a deeper level. When a woman feels emotionally connected to you, she'll naturally begin to chase your attention. It's about creating an environment where she feels comfortable opening up. This doesn't mean pushing her to share things she's not ready for. Instead, it's about being genuinely curious about her experiences and providing a safe space for her to share. When she opens up to you, it fosters a sense of trust and intimacy that makes her more invested in the connection. 6. Questions that challenge her mindset. Another way to get a woman to chase you is by asking questions that challenge her thinking and perspective. People love to be challenged, especially if it leads to new insights or self-discovery. When you ask questions that make her think critically or reconsider her own beliefs, you create a dynamic where she feels intellectually stimulated and engaged. For example, you could ask, "What's one belief you used to hold strongly but have since changed your mind about?" This type of question encourages deep thinking and shows that you value her intellect. It also positions you as someone who can engage her mind, not just her emotions. This kind of questioning is intriguing because it challenges her to explore new ideas and think about things in a different way. When a woman feels mentally stimulated by you, she'll be more likely to seek out your company and chase that intellectual connection. The key is to ask thought-provoking questions that push her boundaries and open up new avenues for conversation. Now that you understand how these trigger questions work, it's time to put them into practice. The next time you talk to a younger woman, especially if there's an age gap, use these techniques to shift the dynamics in your favor. They're powerful because they play into her natural curiosity and desire to impress you. By setting standards, validating her, displaying authority, and creating intrigue, you can have her chasing you instead of the other way around. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to download your free copy of my book in the description section or pinned comment below. You'll be amazed at what you see. And lastly, I strongly recommend you watch the videos in the playlist showing on your screen right now. These transformative videos have the potential to catapult you into the realm of dating mastery. turning you into a true champion overnight. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're yet to. Feel free to share your thoughts and experiences with us in the comment section below.